So you're interested in learning more about how you can buy multifamily property, but you have no income or no job. How do you get it done? Well, guess what? You found the right place. Hey, Daniel, cue in that intro, please. Hey, welcome to the YouTube channel, friend. On this YouTube channel, we typically love to discuss the three major pillars to financial freedom. Three key pillars. Personal finance, which involves credit repair. Funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital, and last but certainly not least, real estate investing with an emphasis on multifamily, multi-unit properties. Now, being that you're new to the channel, if you're interested in acquiring or obtaining more videos like this in your feed, your news feed or what have you, in your search bar, just make sure you do the algorithm thing. Make sure you like this video and subscribe so Google, the algorithm, can do its thing, providing you with additional videos, additional material to help you along your journey towards financial freedom. So without further ado, my friend, let's go ahead and dive into the topic. All right, here's one way to do it. Buy cash. You might be thinking, buy cash? Bro, I just told you I don't have any job or any income, so how can I buy cash? Start a business, baby. Business income. So what you should do is this, right? This is extremely important. This is one thing that really changed my business and investing together, because I used them to go hand in hand with each other. And this is what I did. Well, I realized that businesses can produce massive amounts of income. There's no ceiling on how much money you can make from a business, because there's so many customers out there, you can serve many of them, right? So a business produces massive amounts of income. But multi-units produce passive amounts of income. Multifamily, passive amounts of income. So use your massive income from your business to fund or finance your passive income, your multi-unit portfolio. So if you're curious, well, what kind of business should I start? Well, you can start any type of business, really. It's just a business that you have a skill set in and have an affinity to do. It could be something along the lines of having a credit repair business. That's what I did. It could be a wholesaling business. In 2020, I wholesaled 7 deals in the pandemic. Use that income, right, to reinvest into multifamily. There's many other businesses out there, and that's what you can do. So you can use your time to acquire massive income, so that way you can feed your family, pay bills, have a roof over your head, but also use it to grow your portfolio. So that way, if you decide not to trade your time for dollars, right? If you work at a day job, or if you decide not to be an active member in your business where you're not being an owner operator, just an owner. You're working on the business but not in it. Then that way you can do those things if you have the passive income from your multi-unit portfolio to back it up. Now here's the second way for you to get this done. Let's say you don't have any business income. Okay, cool. Do a limited partnership in which you are the general partner. Right, as long as you keep your equity in a limited partnership below a certain threshold, then you can just make sure that your partners bring the other necessary qualifications to the table, namely the capital and the credit. You got to make sure they look good on paper and that they bring the paper and the dollars to the closing table. Now, if you're able to forge limited partnerships and they have trust and confidence in you being the general partner, meaning you're the one calling the shots. You're the one structuring the deal. You're the one connecting the real estate agent, or wholesaler, the mortgage lender. You're the one connecting the limited partners, the real estate attorneys. You're being that synergistic glue, bringing all those resources together. And you bring your time to the table as well, because you're the one doing all the legwork. Yes, a limited partner will be willing to partner with you, because you're bringing all those skill sets, all those resources to the table that they lack. They may lack the know-how. They may lack the connections. They may lack their time because they're busy working, right? Or they may just lack the desire to do the work. They might have the time to, they just don't want to, because they'd rather use that spare time with their family or other ventures, right? So as long as you're able to find those LPs, limited partnerships, and you have the know-how, connections, and of course, the time to do so, then by all means, you can acquire multifamily properties with no job and no income. And you can get paid income from an LP. That's called an acquisition fee. And also get equity, get cash flow. You can also manage the property as well. That's going back to part one about starting a business. It could be a property management business. There's so many opportunities out there that you can leverage. And speaking of leverage, I actually have a video recommendation for you. I talk about 3 creative financing ways, so just check the link below in the description to get access to it, to learn more. All right, let's get into the next step. All right, the other strategy you can use if you want to get a multifamily property with no income, no job whatsoever, do a master lease option. There's no financing required. And it's all about your negotiation skills, right? Because you can become the master tenant, let's say it's a 10 unit, and you can be the master tenant over all 10 units without having to pay an option or a deposit. It's just getting the property under lease. It's all dependent upon how you negotiate, the motivation of the seller, and of course, the creative mindset to be able to put this thing together. Now, master lease options, I love master lease options. The last master lease option, MLO for short, that I did was a 13 unit. Now, the 13 unit, the seller was motivated because he bought the property right, but he had poor property management in place. And he structured some bad deals with property management to the point where the property was in a negative cash flow situation and the repairs weren't being done. So not only was the seller not getting paid, the seller was also in a deal, had a property that had a bunch of repairs that were needed. So it was a cash suck, in other words, right? Just to put it nicely. And the seller was extremely motivated. And I knew the condition of the property and the motivation of the seller. So being that I understood his motivation, and at the time my pockets were slim because I had 2 other deals on the contract that I was putting money into. So I decided to be a tad bit creative and negotiate with the seller and the agent. So the agent was involved too. Most people think, oh, you can't do a master lease option with the agent. You got to reach directly to the seller. No, you can't. As long as the agent get paid, that's all he cares about. Short of no closing, there was no official sale. But being that the agent helped with being the mediator, of course, I greased the agent's pockets as well because it was rightly so. This person helped with this deal and get under contract. So using a master lease option is another great way for you to acquire a multifamily property without the job or income. And I actually have a video outlining the details of master lease options. Just check the link below in the description to learn more about that. Now, the final way in which you can acquire a multifamily property without using your own capital or having no income, no job, or what have you, seller financing. It's similar to the master lease option, except you negotiate with the seller to be the bank. So of course, if the seller is willing to finance the whole deal, him or herself, then you're able to cash flow off this property, assuming that you're able to get it performing, whether getting it fixed up, getting it rented out, to the point it's producing enough cash flow that you can pay off the seller financing, but also keep some profit in your pocket as well. Now you might be thinking, hey Juan, why on earth would a seller want to do a master lease option, seller financing, and so forth? Well, I just shared that with you, right? As long as they're motivated. It's not them being in the mindset of, oh, I would like to buy, I just want to see what offer I can get. No, that's not motivated. Motivated is, I need to get this problem off my hands. And I can care how it's being done. I can care less if they want to buy it. I can care less if they want to rent it from me. I can care less if I have to offer them seller financing. This is a problem that I need to offload it or do something ASAP. It's a headache. It's driving me mad. And that's motivation. And that's how you're able to acquire multifamily properties without having the income or the job to do so. All right, guys, so hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you're interested in learning more, just check the links in the description below. We have a free training for you in depth that shares with you how to acquire multi-unit properties using creative financing and all of that good stuff. All right, guys, that's my time. As always, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.